Hello, hello. Welcome to my live Urban Influence with Dolores. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live. Today is an epic day. This Sunday, Football Sunday, we have a new president about to be elected, a woman president about to be elected, and I'm here to salute her. I'm a saluter. I am. I can't just get away from this epic historical moment. I gotta put it on record that Dolores from Urban Influence was here to celebrate Kamala Harris' arrival to be our new President of United States of America. Yes, she is. But I'm gonna let y'all wait. I'm gonna wait for some more of you to come into the chat. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's going on in this football Sunday. I know y'all watching football. I ain't gonna take very much of your time. Not gonna take very much of your time, but we gotta go over it. We gotta make sure that no bullshit go down with Kamala Harris come Tuesday and after Tuesday because things can go sideways real quick. And I want to let y'all know we got a place that we need to jump on, like here, because I will be going live if some bullshit jump off with Kamala Harris. Some what do you call that? Some cheating going on, some who did what going on. You know Trump gonna come up with everything to try to get himself elected, and I'm here for it, and I'm gonna stand and fight with her. So we might as well start ganging up together. Get on live. Get ready for the fight. Get ready for the fight with Kamala. So for right now, let's take a look at her family history while I'm waiting for everybody to come into the chat. I know people are watching football, but let's talk about Kamala family history while we get on the chat.
Run, Kamala, run. Don't be afraid. Don't.
Okay, let's try that again.
To this
All
day,
right.
he lives close to Vice President Harris in Washington, D.C.
All right, let's back it up.
He wrote about
Let's back it all the way up. This is my new StreamYard that I'm just trying out. Okay, there we go.
He is Kamala Harris's father, an influential economist, a Jamaican immigrant who came to
What?
America, started a family,
She black.
and rose to the
She real
pinnacle
black.
of academia.
My father
I
would
don't care
say,
what no one say.
as he
She real
smiled,
black.
run, Kamala, run. Don't be afraid. Don't let anything stop you.
To this day, he lives close to Vice President Harris in Washington, D.C., but their relationship is distant, the impact of a difficult divorce when she was a child. So who is Donald Harris, the man who taught Kamala Harris to be fearless? And what does her Jamaican family think of her run for the White House? I'm Ava Joy Burnett, and I grew up in St. Anne, Jamaica, Donald Harris's home parish. So I went home and quickly discovered reporting in my home country.
Her daddy
was a
name is Donald.
process.
I know she hate that. Her daddy named Donald.
We came to Jamaica with a simple mission: find and speak with Kamala Harris's family. We took a 40-minute drive into the mountains to Brownstown. We had the names of two of the vice president's relatives, Mark and Sherman Harris. We had no appointment and no idea if either would speak with us, but we got a lead on Sherman. So we think we found the business where Mr. Harris works. I'm gonna walk in to see if he's willing to talk to us. I'm gonna go in without the camera first to see if he'll talk. How are you, miss?
What?
Good. Is Mr. Harris here? So it was in this
What?
location. So we're gonna go back out here. We might even walk across to see if we could find the spot, because it's like literally in this vicinity. This is a small town, and word of visiting American media traveled fast. The goal was to move quickly without attracting too much attention. I didn't know if Kamala Harris's family might be media shy and didn't want them to get nervous or dodge us. So
Really? I'll be a little
Okay.
nervous too.
No, you know anything about him? This young lady told us that the family owns this business. We don't know how true that is, but that's the business that we're looking for, and the door isn't open. I am that. Hello. So this truck that's pulling in, this is actually Mr. Harris who's pulling in. I recognized him from the photos.
What?
So we're waiting to see if he'd be willing to talk to us. Hi, Mr. Harris.
What? Kamala's daddy?
Hey, how you doing? Hi, I'm Anna
What?
Joy. Nice to meet you. Let me tell you this. I'm Jamaican. All right. Oh, you hear about me before we come? Okay, what time I can do it
I
today?
know they didn't go find Kamala Harris' daddy.
What time tomorrow?
Tomorrow, anytime after 10.
Okay, so Mr. Harris says he will speak with us, but he'll talk to us tomorrow after church. So we'll have to come back tomorrow. Making progress. One of the family members agreed to meet us for Sunday services at a church with a rich family history. Brownstown is home to about 7,000 people. My quest for answers and Kamala Harris's connection to this bustling market town is also a personal homecoming. What's your name? Huh? Joya? Joya? My name is Abajoy. Ah, good to see you, honey. Oh. I attended St. Hilda's Diocesan, an all-girls high school here nearly 2 decades ago. The school sits
What?
atop a hill overlooking the town. Kamala Harris's father, Professor Donald Harris, can trace his lineage to the people this town is named after. Years ago, he wrote about one of his ancestors building the Anglican church in town. And that's where I met Donald Harris's cousin, Mark Harris, for Sunday service.
She black.
In the same pews
She definitely
where
black.
I once sat.
Ain't no
as
doubt
a
about it.
student. We right now, we're standing on hallowed ground.
Yes.
Tell me about this place.
As far as I can tell you is as much as I've heard.
Okay.
That my grandfather was one of whom helped to build this church. He was one of the very few.
We are in a
of course, you can
historical
see
moment
who
in
was
time
building the
in
church
America.
then.
How are you related
Please join
to Vice
me to
President
witness
Kamala
this
Harris?
historical
Okay.
time in America.
Now, her father, Donald, is my cousin. He was such a calm,
She
nice
black.
guy.
She
You know,
might not be black
always
American, but
tried
she
to
definitely black.
influence us in education.
Got nappy hair
was
and
his
all that.
rule every time we
She
see
black.
him. Oh, how you doing in school?
Donald Harris's worldviews were shaped here. As a child, he observed his grandmother running a shop on one of the busy streets in Brownstown. A combination of his academic brilliance and family's influence took him from this world to becoming a professor at Stanford University. But home was never too far away. He wrote about a Jamaican saying, "Remember where you come from." Translation, never forget your roots. And it's in that spirit that Professor Donald Harris wrote about frequent visits to Jamaica, with his young daughters Kamala and Maya, exposing them to the country's, quote, richness and complexity. Some adventures included the elder Harris retracing his own childhood steps with the girls through this very graveyard and immersing them in the market culture next door. He would take the girls into the market. So you had these little American Jamaican girls, but he wanted to show them their
I'm just
Jamaican
vaping,
side.
The
vaping.
roots of Jamaica.
I just did a
Why?
bunch
What was that
of
all
product
about? Taking them
reviews
into the hustle and
on,
bustle.
in my
Because Donald
YouTube studio
actually
right here.
believes
So this is like a
in
break because I haven't
really
seen this. I
showing
haven't seen this
the
at all.
full
It's
way of
very
life and where
interesting.
he's coming from.
Kamala
As a
definitely black.
candidate,
This
Kamala
is
Harris
crazy.
speaks often about her desire to help small business people, entrepreneurs like the women and men who make Brownstown hustle and bustle. But as a child visiting Jamaica, the lessons were mostly about finding joy in nature and taking risks. Images from Kamala Harris's memoir, The Truths We Hold: An American Journey, show a young Harris
She
playing
black.
with family on the family land.
Oh, she's
It's
black.
the playground of Kamala. Yeah.
She just was
Tell
in
me about
Jamaica
that.
black. She's
She
a
would
black
actually
Jamaican.
play on these grounds with her father, taking her to tour the property and
So
so
proud.
on. And she loved it. She played with the animals, the cows, the goats and so on, and run up and down on the property.
It sounded like your brother was telling me this, that he was the one, Mark, who would really encourage her to possibly take risks.
Yes. Donald likes to see when you're active. Sometimes we get scared. And he said, Donald, don't do that. Don't let the child man him hurt himself. And Donald would say, no, man, I'm young. Nothing will happen.
Over the years, at what point did you guys stop seeing her and Maya here?
You know, I think that was at a young age
Come
too. You
on
know,
in
that
to the live.
probably, I think probably
Dolores is
sometime in
here.
the early
Come on
70s, mid
in.
70s, around there, was probably the last
Come
time,
watch with me.
you know, they came here.
By the 1970s, Harris's parents, a couple from two different worlds, India and Jamaica, who met and fell in love in California, started having marital problems. Harris describes her parents' love for each other in her book, but she also wrote they, quote, stopped being kind to each other. On one of the biggest stages
What?
of her life, while accepting the Democratic nomination for president, Harris gives a rare glimpse into one of the most impactful times of her early life.
My early memories of our parents together are very joyful ones. A home filled with laughter and music, Aretha, Coltrane, and Miles. At the park, my mother would say, "Stay close." But my father would say, as he smiled, "Run, Kamala, run. Don't be afraid. Don't let anything stop you."
Amen. Amen.
How would you describe her pride for Jamaica?
I think she's exuberant about it. I think she's happy that she's from Jamaica and a part of her is from Jamaica because she loves Jamaica too.
Are you still in communication with her?
Yes, yes. She'll know and then send me hello and thing. But we need to get closer now to talk to her more.
What impact do you guys think her summertime here has had on who she is as a person?
It exposed her, you know, and exposed her to the Jamaican culture and her roots. That sort of enhances the kind of person you become.
She's proud of us. And it's a family indeed of success in all we do. So I'm sure she's proud of her family too. Yes, she's very proud of us. And we are too, just the same.
I'm proud too.
Up next, after
I'm
Donald
proud
Trump questioned
too.
Kamala Harris's blackness, her Jamaican family reacts.
I find it a dumb speech. I think he's
She's
short for
just
words
dumb.
now.
She black. That's
As
crazy.
you travel across Jamaica, you're exposed to mountains, valleys, the waves of the Caribbean Sea, a landscape that's as diverse as the people who live here. Once a Spanish, then British colony, Jamaica gained independence in 1962. Its colonial past sets the stage for an island that's an ethnic melting pot. Though the country's more than 90% black, people of European, Middle Eastern, Chinese, and Indian descent call this place home and have collectively shaped the culture here for generations. Kamala Harris's family on her father's side is from Jamaica. So given that ethnic diversity, Donald Trump's comment that Kamala Harris, quote, happened to turn black.
She was always of
I
Indian
know she hate that her
heritage, and
daddy
she was
name's the same
only
name as
promoting
Donald
Indian
Duck.
heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black,
This
and now she wants to be known as
This.
black.
This.
So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black
I
woman. She went to a
respect either
historically
See,
one.
black
he's so
college.
disrespectful.
Caught the
He's so
attention of many
disrespectful.
Jamaicans,
So he was the cute one.
See, he was a cute one and he could cry loud.
including the James family.
This is us, the three girls. We generally took pictures together.
Their grandparents arrived in Jamaica from India as indentured servants.
Here's to being Jamaicans.
3 out of those siblings and 2 of their spouses spoke with me about their ethnic identity.
We are proud to be Jamaicans.
Proud to be Jamaicans.
So we talked about America and why we think Americans have that very sharp distinction among the races. Why is it that you guys think Jamaicans don't have that sharp distinction, even though we really are mixed up here?
I think it has to do with our upbringing as well, because from the moment we were born and started growing up, we were mixed up. We played with everybody.
Color never played a part. It never came up. And your parents never had that mentality either. So, you know, it just passed on for a generation.
I want to ask you guys about this issue where Donald Trump said Kamala Harris turned black. As a family with mixed
He's
race
stupid.
people, what
Donald
do you
Duck's
think of
stupid.
that comment?
That's Donald Trump's opinion. All right, let's leave it at that. But you'd classify her as a confluence of both a black and an Indian. Her mom is from India, daddy's from St. Anne, and so they would
She
be
black.
she would be a mixed person.
She's the blackest
And
as they
whatever
come.
that is, whatever that says, it doesn't take away from her being herself.
Doesn't even matter.
I
She
also
can be the
spoke with
president
Paul
of the United
Lawson,
States
a
of
Jamaican
America. A
businessman.
woman.
As soon as they know that you're
A
Jamaican,
woman.
everybody says, "Oh, you're a great set of people."
He told me his family is black, German, and Scottish, evidence that emerges in family photos. But this is how he identifies himself.
I'm a black Jamaican.
Kamala Harris
Yes.
identifies as black. She is of mixed race background. But there are people in the United States, including former President Trump, who question her racial identity.
Right.
As a Jamaican, what do you think about that?
It is rather strange because if the person himself or herself, and in this case Kamala, identifies herself as black, then who on the outside should dictate to her or tell her that she's not black?
Kamala Harris's
Yes.
family
Who
members
gonna tell
also
her?
have opinions on Trump's comments about her race. Sherman and Mark Harris are Kamala Harris's cousins. As children, they spent summers together in Jamaica on the family land. They called Trump's remarks on race unintelligent and nonsense.
Somebody can't turn black.
Stupid.
Or somebody
He's
can't turn
ignorant.
white.
Very, very
You know?
ignorant.
So I find it a dumb speech. You know, I think he's short for words now.
It's just
He's short.
a political
Very
point
short for
that
words.
he's trying to make to try to see if he could gain back some black votes by saying that she is only saying that she's black to attract black votes.
That's crazy.
But it's nonsense.
Professor Sonia Stanley Naya is senior lecturer of cultural studies at the University of the West Indies, Mona. Kamala Harris's father, Donald Harris, studied at this institution as a young academic before he migrated to the U.S. and attended UC Berkeley.
It's the pride and the
California.
passport that gives us the temerity to insert ourselves wherever we are in the world as these, proud people, proud black people.
Stanley Naya says there is a big difference between how Jamaicans and Americans view blackness.
It appears to me that Jamaicans don't necessarily say, I'm black, or I'm this, or I'm that. They will first and foremost say, I am Jamaican. Why is that? Explain
Yes.
that to me.
Because they're proud.
Jamaicans will readily say, I am a Jamaican, but hesitate to say, I am black, or identify with any of the movements globally. But that when it's time, whenever something happens that is a racial incident, the Jamaicans can identify with it, but it's not the same thing as living every day with a consciousness of blackness.
So, given all of that, and the fact that Jamaicans may not even right off the bat say, I am black, but it's innately understood, why is it then that Jamaicans get
Windy
upset
down here in California.
when someone like Donald Trump says Kamala Harris turned black?
At the heart of that is a certain kind of white privilege that ought to be named for what it is. I can understand why it would be seen as egregious, completely problematic for someone to determine that another can't claim who they want to be or how they want to be seen in the world. And I think Jamaicans would get upset because it is out of order for anyone to determine that you can't say who you are in the world.
The motto of this land is out of many, one people, a saying that school children learn early and adults seem to never forget. For Kamala Harris, her ties to Jamaica are undeniable, but that has not stopped questions about her ethnic identity. Perhaps this white Jamaican's words sum up the Jamaican spirit when it comes to the issue of race on this island.
For people who don't understand that people look different here in Jamaica, how do you explain that to them?
Well, I don't believe that anyone should see anybody different, because people are just...
Just some black Americans.
No one is supposed to see
Black
no
and white
no one know how
Americans.
God look. And present himself the way how he make people in their own image. You can't look at nobody and call him ugly because you don't know how God look. You know he make himself like. He make himself look like all the way.
I love that. I love that.
Coming up, hear what Jamaicans we spoke with are saying about Vice President Kamala Harris.
We love her because she's from our blood. Our blood.
And one politician's plan to publicly showcase Harris's accomplishments. In our quest to trace Kamala Harris's roots to Jamaica, we zigzagged across the country from parish to parish and met people in rural areas with more laid-back lifestyles. We also met Jamaicans who are a part of the drumbeat of the hustle and bustle of bigger cities. Jamaica, the motherland of international icons like Marcus Garvey and Bob Marley, is now celebrating Vice President Kamala Harris.
Oh God, a black girl like we, big up, big up. We are from the same stream.
The Vice President's father, Donald Harris, was born in a small city here known as Brownstown.
We love her because she's from our blood. Our blood.
The city is exuding immense pride.
As a Jamaican, are you proud of her?
I'm very proud of her. I am.
100% I'm very motivated to know that she's from Brownstown, my hometown. So we have to say Kamala Harris whether we want or not because it's one of our own from Brownstown, the background. So definitely
That's
Kamala
right.
Harris, 1
One
million
of your
percent.
own in Jamaica.
Michael Belnavis is the mayor of the parish Harris's family is from. He said he's known the family for years because his business was next door to theirs.
What did you think when you realized that this person who is so high up in American politics is directly tied to Brownstown?
Oh boy, it's a great feeling because Brownstown's a small rural town. And but it produced a lot of greatness.
Mayor Belnavis now wants to honor Harris with a statue in the center of town.
What is your sense of people from Brownstown, their excitement for the vice president?
Well, if they could vote for her, they would vote for her because the Harris legacy is deep, and the fact that she's a woman and she's had Jamaican roots. The support is there because of, just fundamentally.
Our assignment to trace Kamala Harris's roots to the small market town,
Marcus Garvey, yeah man, national hero.
brought me back to Jamaica, where I was born, and down memory lane to places like my high school, where I spent some of my formative years. But it also highlighted a country that's basking in the achievement of someone they call their own, a woman who could be the next president of the United States. That pride also comes from one of Harris's family members who's kept his silence till now.
Let me just say, a little island like Jamaica has a citizen of this country or background on this little island to become the most powerful woman in the world. Who would not be proud about that as a Jamaican?
Vice President Kamala Harris's limited mentions of her father and her Jamaican roots are noticeable to some. But people who know the Vice President say her father and his Jamaican heritage have helped to shape the person she's become. In her acceptance speech at the DNC, Harris reminisced about her childhood and her father's encouragement to be fearless, a lesson the Vice President recalls even today as she runs for the White House. For this edition of Scripps News Reports, I'm Ava Joy Burnett.
Thank you, Scripps. All right. We got another video coming up about her speech last week. But I just want to hear from you guys. What you guys think about having a woman for president? Are you excited? Are you not? What do you think? I know I'm excited. I know I am very excited. This is history-making news. And this week is going to be challenging because I'm anticipating some bullshit jumping up. I'm anticipating come Tuesday, Donald Duck is going to try something slick that he's going to put something theory out there that they're cheating, that the states that she won, she didn't win, he won. It's going to be something. So I'm already gearing up on my live just to get ready to come out and bunk that bull. You know what I mean? I know it's going to come because his life depends on it, that he wins. If not, he goes to jail. You know, so it's going to be a lot going on this week. So I just want to know what some of your thoughts. It's epic. It is epic, and I'm glad I'm on record with my live that I'm here for this epic moment. I've already voted. Me and my family have already voted. Did you vote? Are you gonna walk in and vote? Are you gonna, or have you already voted? Or you're not gonna vote? You know, it's up to you. I'm not gonna tell you why, but it's no important. If you're supporting Kamala Harris, please keep watching. We're gonna watch her other speech that she did last week. And you know, maybe we'll talk about some of the things that could come up this week that we're going to be ready for. We're going to be ready for the shenanigans. Oh yeah, they're going to try to pull them out, and I'm going to be watching for it. Oh no, they're not going to pull the rug from under her. Let's see what's going on, everyone. Live. Hmm? I like her for being champions for working families. She's committed to our health care. That's important. She is focused on criminal justice reform. She's climate action advocate, champion for women rights. And let's see, she is going to be the United States president of a, she's going to be the president of United States of America real soon. Yes, and if you're liking this content, please hit subscribe, okay? Because I'm a growing channel and I'll be having more like this and different other lives, you know, not just politics. I have many more lives to come, you know, but the politics is what's popping right now because it's going to be an epic week. Why not talk about it? It's going to be epic. We got to talk about it. So I don't have too much to say. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to play the other video that I have for you guys. Let's go ahead and watch this one.
Good evening, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy lives. Thank you, everyone. So listen, 1 week from today, you will have the chance
vote.
To make
Be sure
a
to vote.
decision that directly impacts your life, the life of your family, and the future.
I'm just now watching this video too. I hadn't
love.
seen it last week. This is last week's video.
And it will probably be the most important vote you ever cast. And this election is more than just a choice between two parties and two different candidates. It is a choice about whether we have a country rooted in freedom for every American or ruled by chaos and
There's a lot of police sirens in the background. You hear that?
Many of you watching have probably already cast your ballots. But I know many others are still considering who to vote for, or whether you'll vote at all. So tonight, I will speak to everyone about the choice and the stakes in this election. Look, we know who Donald Trump is. He is the person who stood at this very spot nearly 4 years ago and sent an armed mob to the United States Capitol to overturn the will of the people in a free and fair election.
Yeah, he sure did.
An election that he knew he lost. Died as a result of that attack. 140 law enforcement officers were injured because of that attack. And while Donald Trump sat in the White House watching As the violence unfolded on television, he was told by his staff that the mob wanted to kill his own vice president. And Donald Trump responded with 2 words: so what? America, that's who Donald Trump is. And that's who is
Petty.
asking you to give him
Sore
another
loser.
4 years in the Oval Office.
Hell no.
Not to focus on your problems, but to focus on his. And Donald
To
Trump
get his
has
own
told
self out
us
of
his
jail.
priorities
He
for
going to
the
jail.
second term. He has an enemies list of people he intends to prosecute. He says that one of his highest is to set free the violent extremists who insulted those law enforcement officers on January 6th. Donald Trump intends to use the United States military against American
sure would.
citizens who simply disagree with him.
He sure would.
People
He sure would.
calls, quote,
Use the military
enemy
against
from
Americans.
within. America, this is not a candidate for president who is thinking about how to make your life better. This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance, and out for unchecked power. Donald Trump has spent a decade trying to keep the American people divided and afraid of each other. That is who he is. But America, I am here tonight to say that is not who we are. That is not who we are.
That's right.
That is
Better
not
vote for
who
Kamala
we
if you
are.
want health care.
You see,
Because he's
what
going to
Donald
destroy
Trump
it.
has never understood is that e pluribus unum, out of many, one, isn't just a phrase on a dollar bill. It is a living truth about the heart of our nation. Our democracy doesn't require us to agree on everything. In fact, we like good arguments from time to time. Just think of your own family, right? It's not the American way to not have disagreements. We don't shy away from robust debate. In fact, we like a good debate, don't we? We like a good debate. And the fact that someone disagrees with us does not make them the enemy within. They are family, neighbors, classmates, co-workers. They are fellow Americans. And as Americans, we rise and fall together. America, for too long, we have been consumed with too much division, chaos, and mutual distrust. And it can be easy then to forget a simple truth. It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. It is time to stop pointing fingers. We have to stop pointing fingers and start locking arms. It is time to turn the page on the drama and the conflict, the fear and division. It is time for a new generation of leadership in America.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live.
Ready to offer that leadership as the next President of the United States of America. Now look, let me say, I recognize this has not been a typical campaign. Even though I've had the honor of serving as your vice president for the last 4 years, I know that many of you are still getting to know who I am. Well, let me tell you, I am someone who has spent most of my career outside of Washington, D.C., so I know that not all the good ideas come from here. I am not afraid of tough fights against bad actors and powerful interests, because for decades, as a prosecutor and a top law enforcement officer of our biggest state, I won fights against big banks that ripped off homeowners, against for-profit colleges that scammed veterans and students, against predators who abused women and children, and cartels that trafficked in guns, drugs, and human beings. And I did this work because for as long as I can remember, I have always had an instinct to protect. There's something about people being treated unfairly or overlooked that frankly just gets to me. I don't like it.
Me neither.
It's
Me
what
neither.
my mother instilled in me. A drive to hold accountable those who use their wealth or power to take advantage of other people. The drive to protect hardworking Americans who aren't always seen or heard and deserve a voice. And I will tell you that is the kind of president I will be. And look, I'll be honest with you, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. But here's what I promise you. I will always listen to you.
Amen.
Even if you don't vote for me. I will always tell you the truth, even if it is difficult to hear. I will work every day to build consensus and reach compromise to get things done. And if you give me the chance to fight on your behalf, there is nothing in the world that will stand in my way. So look, in less than 90 days, either Donald Trump or I will be in the Oval Office. Okay? On day one, and on day one, if elected, Donald Trump would walk into that office with an enemies list. When elected, I will walk in with a to-do list.
Amen.
Full of priorities of what I will get done for the American people. And I will work with everyone, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, to help Americans who are working hard and still struggling to get ahead. I have been honored to serve as Joe Biden's vice president. But I will bring my own experiences and ideas to the Oval Office. My presidency will be different because the challenges we face are different. Our top priority as a nation 4 years ago was to end the pandemic and rescue the economy. Now, our biggest challenge is to lower costs that were rising even before the pandemic and that are still too high. I get it. I still remember our mother sitting at that yellow Formica table, late at night, cup of tea in hand, a pile of bills in front of her, trying to make it all work. And I've heard from so many of you who are facing even greater financial pressures. Donald Trump's answer to you is the same as it was the last time. Another $1 trillion in tax cuts for billionaires and big corporations. And this time, he will pay for it with a 20% national sales tax on everything you buy that is imported.
Hell
Think
no.
about it. Clothes,
Hell no.
food, toys, cell phones. A Trump sales tax that would cost the average family nearly $4,000 more a year. And on top of that, you will pay even more if Donald Trump finally gets his way and repeals the Affordable Care Act, which which would throw millions of Americans off their health insurance and take us back to when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. Well, we are not going back.
Hell no. No. We ain't going back. Not going back. Not going back.
We are
Not going back.
Because we also know Donald Trump would deliver tax cuts to his billionaire donors. I will deliver tax cuts to working people and the middle class. I will make sure you have a chance not just to get by, but to get ahead. Because I believe in honoring the dignity of work. I will enact the first ever federal ban on price gouging on groceries.
Amen.
Cap the price of insulin and limit out-of-pocket prescription costs for all Americans. I will fight to make sure that hardworking Americans can actually afford a place to live. I'll never forget how our mother saved up and how excited she was when she could finally afford to buy our first home. I remember how excited she was. And I know that owning a home is not only a measure of financial security, it's about the pride of your hard work. And as president, I will fight to help first-time home buyers with your down payment, take on the companies that are jacking up rents, and build millions of new homes. For years, we have heard excuses about why America can't build enough housing. Enough with the excuses. I'm going to cut the red tape and work with the private sector and local governments to speed up building and get it done. And the cost of housing isn't the only financial pressure on middle-class families. I have met so many young people who have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always the resources to do it. So I'll fight for a child tax credit to save them some money, which will also lift American children out of poverty. I'll work to lower the cost of childcare, which is out of reach for too many working families today, and for too many people in the sandwich generation who are raising young children and taking care of a parent. Juggling all of it is extremely difficult. You know, I took care of my mother when she got sick, cooking food that she had a taste for, finding clothes that would not irritate her skin, and understand, as I do, that caregiving is about dignity. It is about dignity. And currently, if you need home care and you don't have some money to hire someone, you and your family need to deplete your savings to qualify for help. That's just not right. So we're going to change the approach and allow Medicare to cover the cost of home care so seniors can get the help and care they need in their own homes. Now, Donald Trump has a different approach. He tried to cut Medicare and Social Security every year he was president. Look, I believe that when people have worked hard their entire life, they deserve to retire with the benefits they have earned. And I believe in the fundamental freedom of Americans to make decisions about their own bodies and not have their government tell them what to do. I will fight to restore what Donald Trump and his hand-selected Supreme Court justices took away from the women of America. 1 in 3 women in America, think about it, 1 in 3 women in America lives in a state with a Trump abortion ban. Many with no exceptions even for rape and incest. The idea that a woman who survives a crime of a violation to her body should not have the authority to make a decision about what happens to her body next, that is immoral. That is immoral. And Trump's
That's some
not
bullshit.
done. He would ban abortion nationwide, restrict access to birth control and put IVF treatments at risk, and force states to monitor women's pregnancies. Just Google Project 2025 and read the plans for yourself. And look, I think we all know one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to simply agree the government should not be telling her what to do with her body. Not the government. And when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. Proudly. And look, on another subject, politicians have got to stop treating immigration as an issue to scare up votes in an election. And instead treat it as the serious challenge that it is that we must finally come together to solve. I will work with Democrats and Republicans to sign into law the border security.
They already got a bill ready to go, ready for you to sign as soon as you get in the White House. If we take over the Senate, Senate and the House, we got to take over the Senate and the House together.
And when I am president,
that's important. Vote Democratic for Senate and the House so Kamala Harris won't have to go through all the madness to get a bill passed. Because they're going to do everything to block her.
At the same time, we must acknowledge we are a nation of immigrants. And I will work with Congress to pass immigration reform, including an earned path to citizenship for hardworking immigrants like farm workers and our dreamers. As Commander-in-Chief, I will make sure America has the strongest, most lethal fighting force in the world. Donald Trump, on the other hand, has shown his contempt for our nation's heroes, calls them suckers and losers, called a 4-star Marine general a, quote, lowlife. I will always honor, never denigrate, the service and sacrifice of our troops and their families, and fulfill our sacred obligation to care for them. I will strengthen, not surrender, America's global leadership.
Amen.
And I will stand with our friends because I know that our alliances keep American people safe and make America stronger and more secure. Look, world leaders think that Donald Trump is an easy mark. Easy to manipulate with flattery or favor. And you can believe that autocrats like Putin and Kim Jong-un are rooting for him in this election. I will always uphold our security, advance our national interest, and ensure that the United States of America remains, as we must forever be, a champion of liberty around the world. America, we know what Donald Trump has in mind. More chaos, more division, and policies that help those at the very top and hurt everyone else. I offer a different path, and I ask for your vote.
Vote.
And here is my pledge to you. I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to make your life better. I am not looking to score political points. I am looking to make progress. I pledge to listen to experts, to those who will be impacted by the decisions I make, and to people who disagree with me. Unlike Donald Trump, I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy. He wants to put them in jail. I'll give them a seat at the table. I pledge to you to approach my work with the joy and optimism that comes from making a difference in people's lives. And I pledge to be a president for all Americans. And to always put country above party and self. I love our country with all my heart. And I believe in its promise because I've lived it. I grew up as a child of the Civil Rights Movement. My parents would take me to marches in a stroller, where crowds of people of all races, faiths, and walks of life came together to fight for the ideals of freedom and opportunity. I've lived the promise of America. I saw how hard our mother worked to give her daughters the same chances this country gave her. Growing up, I was blessed to have family by blood and family by love, who instilled in me the values of community, compassion, and faith that have always defined our nation at its best. I've lived the promise of America. I've spent my life fighting for the people who have been hurt and counted out, but never stopped believing that in our country, anything is possible. I've lived the promise of America. The promise of America in all of you. In all of you. I see it. I see it in the young people who are voting for the first time.
No, I'm on live. Just give me a few more minutes. I'm almost done.
Gun violence and to protect our planet and to shape the world they inherit. I see it in the women who refuse to accept a future without reproductive freedom.
I can see it.
I see it in Republicans who have never voted for a Democrat before, but have put the Constitution of the United States over party. I've seen it in Americans different in many respects, but united in our pursuit of freedom, our belief in fairness and decency, and our faith in a better future. America, I know the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. I know it. And that's why I am in this race, to fight for the people just like I always have. Nearly 250 years ago, America was born when we wrested freedom from a petty tyrant. Across the generations, Americans have preserved that freedom, expanded it, and in so doing, proved to the world that a government of, by, and for the people is strong and can endure. And those who came before us, the patriots at Normandy and Selma, Seneca Falls and Stonewall, on farmlands and factory floors, they did not struggle, sacrifice, and lay down their lives only to see us cede our fundamental freedoms. They didn't do that only to see us submit to the will of another petty tyrant. These United States of America, we are not a vessel for the schemes of wannabe dictators. The United States of America is the greatest idea humanity ever devised. A
This is a
nation
great speech.
big enough.
We would have never.
Any fracture or fissure between us, and fearless enough to imagine a future of possibilities. So America, let us reach for that future. Let us fight for this beautiful country we love. And in 7 days, we have the power, each of you has the power to turn the page and start writing the next chapter in the most extraordinary story ever told. I thank you all. God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
That was a great speech. And I'm glad everyone who came and joined me to listen to Kamala Harris' speech. I thank you guys. Hit subscribe. I'm not going to hold you up on this Sunday, this football Sunday in America, but I just had to pay my own tribute to Kamala Harris because I know she's going to win. And I'm going to be monitoring what's going on for the rest of the week. Hopefully, we won't see any shenanigans going on the other side, but I'm sure it will. So I'll keep y'all posted and updated on what I see, what I hear about what's going on, and all the good news. I just want to bring good news, not bad news to you guys. But I'll see you again real soon. And I thank you again for joining me on my live with Kamala Harris. I'll be back again soon. Thank you. Bye. I got a lot of people in here. Yeah, I haven't had any comments, so I'm just going to go ahead and click out. Talk to y'all later.